Hello everyone, CrystalBloodyNose here, and welcome to a bit of a story video, a bit of a story of my last Saturday night. But really, realistically, it probably started around Wednesday. You're probably wondering, it was funnily enough, not long after I put up the Spyro prototype video, something really weird happened to me with my nose. As you can probably tell, I'm look a bit kind of puffed up and kind of, I don't know, like a sort of like a shadow there. Basically, long story short, I had to spend the night in the emergency department of the Flinders Hospital, which is a fantastic hospital here in Adelaide, and it was genuinely one of the worst experiences of my life. Not because of the hospital, by no stretch. They were fantastic. Just a bit of a, not really gore, but blood warning. I'll put up a few photos of what actually went down. Anyway, I last year had a deviated septum operation because my sinuses were pretty bad. And so, what happened is you had to heal your nose, get sort of scabs, you've got to heal it. Everything was going well, that was last year. And then, but the problem is that, in hay fever season, winter, it's very, very dry. So, everyone knows, you scratch your nose. I sort of scratched my nose because it sort of felt itchy. And I just hit something and I just started pouring. Absolutely pouring out blood. That was weird. It was was maybe 10 minutes or so, fine, whatever. Then, I went to blow my nose the next day, similar thing, similar leak. Basically, I thought, okay, something's clearly been ruptured or something like that, but I don't know, it's probably fine, it's just something odd. Then we cut to Saturday. And I was with Nintendo 64 and Ratchet 5 Katote and some other people from the International Spyro Grand Prix. We were going down to film a wrestling promo, and I felt something on my nose, sort of hanging. So I got a tissue, went to basically wipe it, and again, absolutely gushes out. Something is clearly wrong. I'm gushing. This one went from about 4 p.m.-ish to almost 6. It almost went for 2 hours. Now I looked it up, okay, if that actually happens, you should realistically go to the hospital. Clearly something bad's happened. So we had to stop on the side of the road. Angus and I had to rush in and go and get some, what was it? He had to go get some, these glasses are wonky, but I'm gonna take them off. He had to go and get some water and all these tissues. I was literally, the only thing he had was just this a paper bag. I was literally just bleeding into the bag. You can see the photo there, bleeding into the bag like mad. And then I got home, had a shower, it just kept going, but I just sort of, kept blowing my nose, which was very much the wrong idea. I should have been trying to block like this. Anyway, me and my girlfriend were saying, oh, let's go to the movie. Well, I was saying let's go to the movie. She's like, oh, what if you bleed out again? I'll be fine. I will be completely fine. So we go to the movie, watch this, was it Where'd You Go, Bernadette? That was a Kate Blanchett film. It was a Richard Linklater film. It was good, it was good. And to jump ahead, I ended up getting to finish the whole movie, just not in the cinema. Halfway through, well, as I was saying, I was able to finish the movie. There's Louis, he's going for the ball, he's being a troublemaker. But yeah, got through halfway the movie, all of a sudden, it began. This was about 9 p.m. or something like that, 9:30 p.m. Completely gushing. We left the cinema. I basically had to run out. Amelia got a bunch of, got a bunch of, tissue paper from the toilet. I basically ran out, went to the toilet for a bit, tried to get rid of it, thinking it would probably go away. Did not stop. We drove home. I just had this, just a massive thing. And the thing is, what was happening is the velocity of this was insane. It was so potent and so much. It wasn't little drop, 5 seconds, another little drop, 5 seconds. It was drop, drop, drop. It was absolutely ludicrous. So at this point, it had got to, I got home, went to go wash myself up in the sink. We thought, okay, I'm just gonna go to bed, try and just stop it, go to bed, hold it, get it gorged, one of the things where you put up your nose and just sort of drains it. Put one on when I thought it was sort of dying down, and no, it completely saturated within about a minute or so. And then went to bed as well, had a bowl out, I had everything all cleaned up, but then when I thought it went away, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna put it away. It just spurted out again, like almost like blown up like that. And I thought, holy shit, like, okay, my whole bed sheets were ruined basically. I've got to go to the hospital. So I got to the hospital, we're en route. Basically, I'm just, again, got this massive big, what are you doing? Where's the ball? Oh, there it is. He keeps putting the ball under the couch. There you go. Throw it over. Alright. And so what happened was, yeah, like I had this big, nice like Tupperware container that I basically just used to suck up like all the tissues and all the things, and it was starting to legitimately fill up. Then I was starting to get like thicker bits of blood basically, so yeah, gore warning there. And it was absolutely disgusting, like it was just not stopping. And it was hurting at this point. It was like, I'm losing so much blood, like I'm just in pain, like I'm starting to feel a little bit weaker. I get to the emergency department. Luckily, because it is like so gory and just disgusting, I'm put in the like reserve area, which means I basically barely had to wait. I waited about 15 minutes for a new, for someone to, for a bed basically. They went in, were able to put me into a gown and all that kind of stuff, and have a look and go, okay, well, what the hell is going on? So they thought, okay, this is a bit weird, like it's a blood nose, but we should be able to sort it out. So they take a blood test, take an oxygen test, the thing where you put the thing on, and you've got the IV drip and all that kind of stuff. And nothing's really changed. It's literally going at the same frequency. That's when they decided what they have to do is we've got to put this thing called a rapid rhino up your nose, which is basically this tube thing that then blows up like a balloon. So it's like 5.5 inches. So basically they go up your nose. Here's the problem. You feel it in your throat. I always have had, sinus problems and stuff like that, and like sore throats. Like when I get a sore throat, it kills me. So I felt it here, almost not in here. At this point, this was like almost 1:30, so like time had like paused. I don't know what the hell is going on. Like timing wise, I cannot even really remember the full details of how long things took. But when it first went in, went up there and stayed there, and I basically over the next hour or so literally lost the ability to talk properly, because every breath felt like I was losing breath. What it felt like was I was choking, but I could actually breathe, but I didn't have the ability to breathe on my own. Like it just felt like it was like that. So the balloon started to go down in my nose, and that's when you could tell at that point, the doctors were like, we don't know what's going on here. Let's put a rapid rhino in his other nostril. So that was the second one. That was absolutely far worse at that point, because this nostril was fine. At that point, both were in there. The pressure in your sinuses, because it's literally blowing up your sinuses in here. I was feeling like I literally could not handle it. I was just lying there in absolute agony and absolute misery. And this is no fault of the doctors, in that they were fantastic service. They did a really, really good job. But essentially, as you later figure out, I actually didn't need that second one. So that did make it worse, but I do not blame them for trying that. It was at that point around 2:30 a.m. They decided to basically wake up an ENT, a nose and throat doctor, basically an emergency doctor, wake him up, tell him this guy is just not stopped. Because literally when the balloon started to sort of go down, it just kept bleeding. It just kept going. It was absolutely ludicrous. At this point, I would have lost like multiple pints of blood. Like I don't know the exact details, but if you think about it, it was just non-stop. I had to change my gown like 3 times. I went through 10 of those things that go over there that suck up the blood, 10 towels, all that kind of stuff. This guy gets there. Amelia was there the whole time basically. She was great. We just basically just talked through the thing, or just sort of didn't say that much, because I was literally just like this, just absolute hell. Mum got there, that was cool. Just wanted to see if everything was all right. At that stage, before the ENT got there, it was, I would single-handedly put it as the worst experience of my life. Just the pure pain and the pure misery and not really knowing what's going on. This concerning part was obviously when they made that call, and I was like, well, we don't actually know why he's still bleeding. Finally, the ENT gets there, and he is absolutely, again, fantastic. These Flinders stuff, guys, fantastic. He goes in with a camera, sees it. Basically, he's like, the Rapid Rhino just missed where it was like blown up, basically. And so, long story short, it pretty much did nothing for that reason. But I understand why they needed to do it. Waiting for the ENT. He had a solution. He was going to cauterize it, basically cauterize it, I think it's the C. Yeah, and basically what that means is that basically you burn it. You basically burn the hole shut, but you also try and forcefully shut it by injecting the nose with adrenaline. So they gave me adrenaline, basically a big needle up my nose, all this like other curing agents and softening and blah, 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 like all this other stuff. That was like, and I was awake for it, like completely awake. It's probably stuff that most people you'd get it done like while you're asleep for an operation, but being awake was weird. The thing is, the painkillers didn't do anything. They also injected me with painkillers, probably like morphine or something like that, like probably endo, one of the like the high level painkillers. It didn't do anything because most of my pain was in my throat. And it almost kind of is still now, even for these two, last few days. So finally, they're able to basically zip up the hole, if you will. And what's still probably in my nose actually now, believe it or not, is actually this like retainer, like dissolvable gauze thing that'll basically just dissolve out of my nose over the next, few days or so. So I'm literally still like put together with string and metal and plastic, whatever it is, stuff that dissolves. I ended up having to stay in the hospital overnight. At that point, by the time everything was sorted out, it's probably 4 a.m., but I couldn't check out till 9, so I was put into like another ward, put to sleep, oh not put to sleep, but I fell asleep. Something I thought I'd never be able to do because I've always been like, I've always said to Angus, I've always said, if I ever have to be in a hospital, get rid of me, get rid of me. If I'm old and I have like one of like 10 major diseases, and I'm old, get rid of it, get rid of me. Get rid of me, permission to euthanize, I have no problem, because it was just, it was horrible. And the thing is, if you think about it, my fault. At the end of the day, you could say that essentially picking your nose caused this. I mean, it's like one of those things, it's like a lesson learned. It's like, when you're scratching around your nose, people do it, right? You're itchy, you've got sinuses, you've got like, what's it called? Hay fever. My hay fever is horrendous. Who would have thought that just like nicking something basically would cause such agony for such a long time? The clotted, I can't, I've got the photos that you've just seen that have gone up, and look, leave it at that. You don't need to see any like video footage. I did say hello everyone, CrystalBloodyNose here for video for the ISGP server, just to pop everyone, to make everyone know that I was all right. But it was quite the experience, so that's why I haven't really done much lately. But I will be back with videos and stuff like that. I know there's gonna be some Crash Bandicoot stuff coming up soon. Whoop, seriously, he gets the ball, he puts it under the couch, and then makes me get it. I can't bend over, I can't do exercise for 2 weeks. 1 to 2 weeks, we'll see how I feel. I'm just taking it slowly. That's probably the worst part. No hot food, like overly hot food, no overly hot drinks, stuff like that. So gotta be very, very careful. But I just thought I wanted to share that sort of experience. It's mundane enough, but I'm sure some of you wanted to know the update if you saw me on Instagram and stuff like that, posting the photo. Guys, thank you for watching. That was my experience in the ER, and no, George Clooney did not come and rescue me, but you can't always get what you want. The staff, again, unbelievable. And as a bit of a soapbox, by the way, entirely free. Staying over there is entirely free as part of Australian Medicare, so that's the thing, like, you don't have to worry about money if you get like rushed to an emergency room, due to something that, essentially it's just a freak accident. So really, really cool. Good on you, Australia, for getting some stuff right sometimes. And yeah, I will speak to you all very soon with some more Crash, Spyro, Tony Hawk, LP, whatever you want to call it. We've got plenty of stuff coming up. Thank you for watching. See you later.